Tonight on KGW News, preparing for a presidential visit. The latest on where he's headed, plus potential traffic delays. Then,
we're innovating, it's messy, and here we are.
An inside look at why solutions to Portland's homeless crisis seem to come so slow. Then, a surprising decision in the battle over Oswego Lake, why the water could soon open up to everyone. And later, a local feline that could become the next best-selling author. Meet the cat correspondent. Your news starts now.
And good evening. We're about 13 hours away from what you might call a presidential pit stop in the Rose City. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Laurel Porter. President Biden will visit Portland tomorrow, but he'll only be here a few hours. He'll fly into PDX in the early afternoon and give a speech on infrastructure improvements at the airport. Then he'll head to the nearby Portland Yacht Club for a private fundraiser. So the traffic impact will likely be minimal, with closures possible on Marine Drive in the afternoon. We asked the airport if passengers should expect delays, a spokesperson telling us to check with your airline. Although we know when Air Force One is ready to go later in the afternoon, yes, it gets priority, and there could be some slight delays. And ahead of the president's visit, we heard from both the White House and National Republican Party.
He's happy to be out there talking directly with the people of Oregon and directly with the American people about the impact of what's happening here in Washington.
He's going to try to paint a rosy picture that his infrastructure bill is the cure-all, the save-all, the end-all, be-all to all of the crises and the problems that Oregon residents are dealing with, but it's not.
After his stop here, the president will go on to Seattle to talk about reducing the cost of prescription drugs, among other things.
Well, you heard it there. Amidst his sinking approval rating and the worst inflation in this country in 4 decades, the president will be here to tout his accomplishments, chiefly that $1 trillion plus Infrastructure and Jobs Act that he signed into law in November. Now, both Oregon and Washington together set to receive billions from that over the next 5 years.
Our Alma McCarty took a closer look at what's included in that bill, including why the president will be using the airport as the backdrop for his speech.
Well, the White House tells us the president will highlight funding to help make runways at PDX earthquake ready. That's part of the millions the Port of Portland will get from the bill. And while airports and roads may be top of mind when you think of infrastructure, many other projects fall under that umbrella as well.
On the last report card from the American Society of Civil Engineers a few years back, the state of Washington got a C. The state of Oregon, a C-. Other states didn't fare much better as our infrastructure nationally ages. The $1.2 trillion Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act aims to make those repairs. Washington will get around $1.8 billion for road projects. Oregon, around $1.2 billion over 5 years. Projects like the Interstate 5 bridge replacement and the Rose Quarter highway redesign project, likely candidates for federal dollars.
You know, I got my last major objective that had escaped me since the Obama administration done this year. Not exactly in the form I wanted, but we got it done.
Congressman Peter DeFazio, chair of the House Committee on Transportation, sponsored the bill and spoke with our Laurel Porter on Straight Talk earlier this year.
A huge increase in funding for America's deteriorated infrastructure, roads, bridges, highways, transit, rail, ports.
Oregon will get millions to improve public transit, to make systems resilient to earthquakes and natural disasters, to ensure clean drinking water for all communities, to expand electric vehicle charging stations, and to help more Oregonians get broadband coverage. Several million will also go to protect against wildfires and against cyber attacks.
And at this time, we're not able to pin down exactly where all of the funding will go. Much of that money hasn't been doled out to certain projects just yet, but we'll be sure to stay on top of any new information. Laurel?
Thank you, Alma. And speaking of the president's arrival, will Air Force One land with the sun peeking through, or will the tarmac be soaked by these April showers?
So let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino. Matt, how's it looking?
Yeah, yes and yes. I mean, the president may see all of that while he's in Portland for his short period of time. Now, The talk today was all about the potential for thunderstorms, not just thunderstorms, but potentially severe thunderstorms, which did not happen. We had some thunderstorms over in Sherman County, east of the Dalles, earlier this afternoon, and there have been some strikes off the coast here, and those have been strong, but basically staying offshore. No thunder or lightning in the valleys, and if we get any thunderstorms, they're very likely to be garden variety and not of the severe nature, so that's good news. The rain edging into Portland right now, so it will be raining overnight tonight. And the Severe Storms Prediction Center has now focused the threat of thunderstorms east of the Cascades, no longer west of the Cascades. And again, it's just for thunderstorms. It's not even a marginal threat for severe thunderstorms, which is all we had anyway west of the Cascades today. It was never a huge threat, and it did not materialize simply because of the cloud, mainly because of the cloud cover that we had today, inhibiting the heating that would have helped those storms to get fired up. So what to expect tonight and tomorrow? The rain about to increase. It's happening now from south to north. Isolated thunderstorms are still possible tomorrow. Not super likely, and they'd be very widely scattered if we got any at all. And then sun, showers, and again, possible thunderstorms for the next couple of days. But it will be getting warmer beginning tomorrow, something that has been a long time coming, guys. Back to you.
A little bit of good news there, Matt. Thank you. Well, the state is wrapping up its case in the murder trial of romance novelist Nancy Crampton Brophy. She is accused of killing her husband Daniel by shooting him twice in a kitchen where he taught at the Oregon Culinary Institute. Today we heard from more friends of the Brophy family. Remember, they'd been married for 26 years. The couple's hairstylist, there she is, Michelle Reveneau, took the stand and said she read about the shooting in the Sunday paper and that she called Nancy, who later broke the news to her. Reveneau said that when she asked Nancy questions about Daniel's death, Nancy told her the garage door to the Institute had been open at the time of the murder. We'll get to that in a second, but did not really elaborate further.
Well, I gave her a hug and told her how sorry I was, and I was really sad. Obviously, I'm sorry. And I asked, what happened? Because again, there'd been nothing in the paper.
Both state and defense pointing to that open garage door as access for the killer, with defense raising it as saying it was somebody else, not Brophy, because she and her husband were in love. Defense is scheduled to begin its case tomorrow, and at some point we expect Nancy Brophy to take the stand. Stay with KGW for the latest in the Brophy trial on air and online at KGW.com. You can also download the KGW News mobile app for breaking news updates sent straight to your smartphone.
Now to information on a house fire in southeast Portland. Portland Fire says it started from a burning candle. The fire tore through the house on southeast 84th Avenue along Duke Street this morning. One person in their 50s suffered minor burns and refused to go to the hospital. Investigators said the house didn't have power, so residents were using candles to keep warm.